everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is NATOJI and today this is your Lilith beginner guide. We are going to review what are the best cards, accessories, substitute weapon, F2P teams and mid-game and end-game team to increase your damage output. But before to get started here, once again a big fat thank you to reach the 1000 sub and help us to unlock the community feature on the channel. And this was the very first poll, and this is a question for you who are watching the video. What do you want from Guardian Tales in 2021? And actually I was pretty surprised. Number one, by your engagement. Once again, thanks to all of you to come over. We have over 100 of votes here. We have also a lot of you who come over and share some suggestions, so thank you so much for that. And after, I was surprised about the number of people that vote for the new class, 25% of you, and that's pretty exciting because I wasn't surprised about, more story content. 47% of you want more story content, and that makes sense because Guardian Tales is all about it. And really for the past 6 months they have been developing all the type of content, Amazon things, but they really slow down in the story. I will do a separate video about it anyway, but here for the new class. So here you can read for yourself. Please let us know in the comment section below, what do you want from Guardian Tales in 2021? And I will be very happy to do a follow-up, a video especially on that topic for you guys. So let's get started with the cards first. Here as you can see I have a PvP setup with injury damage 100% negated because most of her counter like Lynn, Future Princess, Beth, Gabrielle are using injury damage either on the weapon or on the Shen skill, so it makes sense. I'm using this also for both PvP, I mean Arena and Colosseum. And after I'm using some critical hit chance here because I do use either a critical party buffer or some accessory with some critical hit chance. But overall, if you are a beginner, I will highly recommend you just start with the classic, which are attack, double attack percent. It will be just fine. Next, before to get started with the accessories, from now on in every single guide I will add some substitute weapon because a lot of you, a lot of beginners or even mid endgame players do not have the chance to pull on the exclusive weapon. So I always have this question, so hope it will be helpful here. However, as you can see here, nothing can replace an exclusive weapon, to be honest with you, but some of them can just work fine. And most importantly, you can see, so she's wearing the Queen's Grace. This is an epic claw, dark attack, but most importantly it's using endured damage. And actually the only substitute to that, this is here. This is the Oni claw. So here as you can see it has some dark attack type. It has also here the endured damage. In that way you will be sure to be able within a team to get a full rotation for the Shen skill. So this is my recommendation here, and if you need some more, please feel free to ask in the comment section below. But all the other dark claws, unfortunately, as you can see, are down state. Now before to get through the accessories, if you do not have any of the accessories I'm showing you today, please feel free to prioritize the stat like weapon skill regen speed. It's very important because a weapon has a very long regen time, so weapon skill regen speed, it's very important. And afterwards it really depends your team composition. If you have a defense party buffer, you can consider go for something more offensive with some skill attack percent or some attack percent. And if you do not have, you have a glass cannon team with no HP leader for example, you can consider to go for something more thick with some HP and defense percent. But overall you want to prioritize weapon skill regen speed. It's very critical to activate a buff, debuff, also the heal she has on the Shen skill is very important for the sustain of your team. I select just a few which I believe are the most efficient for her. If you need some more detail, please feel free to ask in the comment section below. We will start with the gold pocket watch. This is a classic. It has one of the strongest defense base, 130%. It has weapon skill regen speed plus 10%. You get some HP, some skill damage and some attack. The gold pocket watch, oftentimes they give it through events, so this is actually the best you could find for F2P in my opinion. Next I will do a quick mention for the sharpshooter. It's more, once again, for that critical chance, 10%, the highest in the game once you limit break it, and it's of use across any different type of range heroes also as well, to be honest with you. And it has some attack plus 12%, HP 8%, skill damage plus 12%. But because this is glass cannon, this is really if you bring, for example, Ogma Future Princess and you do not have any other, for example, melee attack buffer or skill attack buffer, and you need that little bit of offensive stat, you can go for the sharpshooter. After here, I'm going to make a very short mention for the Amethyst Earring. It has a decent base defense, but most importantly, let's look quickly at the sub option. Injury damage 50% negated. As we mentioned when we covered the card, this is very helpful for PvP. So this is really for beginners in the PvP section, for your Colosseum, for your arena. You can consider here the Amethyst Earring. It has also some attack plus 10%, some critical hit chance 3%, and you can get also some HP once you limit break it and in the sub option. After for the Legion accessory, actually I will just pick one to make it quick. This is the Dark Magic Ring. First of all, it has 122 of depth, which is pretty good, and you have that weapon skill regen speed plus 10%, and that's it. After you can get in the sub option HP plus 10% and also skill damage plus 15%, so a very good option. Now let's get started with the exclusive. So this is really, I will call it the whale accessory, epic accessory, because you cannot farm this one. This is the Earth Necklace. It has the strongest base def in the game, so it's pretty good. You have the weapon skill regen speed plus 10% and the defense decrease 100% negated. Now we are seeing more and more units and heroes that can decrease your defense, like Lilith is doing. Lilith can decrease the defense. Actually, this is pretty useful. If you have it, please feel free to put it on. After for the farmable here, I will start with the Minotaur's necklace here. It's pretty glass cannon, so you don't want to use this if you are, for example, just a future princess with Lynn and Lilith in arena. I won't recommend this one because you will be on the glass cannon side, to be honest with you. But if you use, for example, Future Princess and Noxia, double HP, or Future Princess, Ogma, and you have Lilith, then you can consider, because it has a good critical hit chance, and if you pair it with, for example, let's say some critical hit card, it can make a lot of sense. This is one of the best offensive accessory you can get with your battle medals from PvP and Reds rewards, and you go in the Amazon shop. It's just so good in terms of offensive stat, and it still have that weapon skill regen speed plus 10%. But overall, I'm gonna end up with the Mirror Earring of Nobility, and by far for overall use, this is the very best in my opinion. It has pretty strong def, 122 here. You can see dark type attack plus 15% in the main option. If you limit break it, you have defense plus 7%, and after you can get up to 4 ability granted in the sub option. So hopefully you will get that HP 12%, defense 10%, skill damage plus 20%, and that weapon skill regen speed plus 12%, so 2% more actually than the Minotaur. So for me, this is the best option, but you might be already mid-game, end-game to be able to unlock the Mirror Rift and to start to farm it. Now let's speak about F2P teams for the different type of content, and I'm going to start here with a suggestion for your mono dark team. If you have Lilith and you're a beginner and you do not have any of the other dark hero yet built, this is a suggestion for you. So as you can see, this respect two things. First, all of them can increase the damage of Lilith. This is the focus here. This is for Lilith to benefit from their party buff and not the other way around, because here, as you can see, Lilith is a melee attack percent, but for example, Karina here or Gremory are range attack, but you don't care. What you need early on in the game is something that can just increase your main hero. I'm using Karina for the simple reason, as you can see, she has a dark attack percent as a party buff after Gremory, which is an end game material for your red. I've built one, as you can see here. She's still, and I'm still using her, fantastic with skill attack percent. So this once again benefit Lilith. And finally, I'm using Saphira here because Saphira has a melee attack percent. Now there are plenty of other substitutes you can use in and out, but overall for a mono dark team, this will be my suggestion for F2P players. Now I just would like to make a mention here for this team especially. This team can work at a certain point in your PvE story, but not that much, for the simple reason is you do not have a strong frontliner, a tank. So here I'm going to make a very short, as you can see, let's take this for example team here. I just dropped here Gremory and to respect the full Shen skill once again, and I put Craig. Why Craig? Because Craig is the best F2P tank frontliner you can find in the game, hands down. And if you have the silence, his exclusive weapon, actually very early on, he can be your tank also for Colosseum and for Arena, and that will help you so much to grind up your game and to climb very early on. Craig is a very viable, he was my tank before I get Future Princess really at the end of the story. For example, this is a team you can run without too much cost to compare to the red, you know, you just invest in Gremory, in Craig a little bit, and you can run that F2P team for your story, it will be fine. But now if you need to go into the Colosseum, maybe this team is a little bit too much of a dark centric, so here is one of the options. There are plenty, to be honest with you, but with Ami. So here, Ami actually has a melee attack percent. She's getting on the next week, we will get it on Global Asia server, a new exclusive weapon. So she's a pretty viable option to have a basic hero in your team with Lilith for the Colosseum. Why? Because there are still a lot of Future Princess maybe you are going to meet on the front line, so it could help you to get rid of it. Now there are plenty of other heroes. I do not have really, there are plenty of even some light hero could do the job. For example, here you could take out, if you don't want to have Ami, you can use here Zoe, which is actually pretty good. She can stun, she has that weapon skill regen speed bonus, so it can help to trigger faster Yushin skill. She can deal some damage to Future Princess, and honestly you have plenty of choice. Here, let me take another one, which a funny one. For example, here I'm gonna add into the party Lauren for some sustain. She's a basic here, deal some good damage, but heal very well if you have her exclusive weapon. That's a pretty good healing here, the area. It can be very helpful, and you put with it here, let me find her, yes, and you can add in it Ramping. So in that way you have a full Shen skill. Once again, Ramping add up some defense percent here. She's pretty good and strong against Future Princess or any light type of hero, so this could be also one of the options you can get for your Colosseum. And finally here, for mid game and end game players, some team composition. Let's start with the Reds. So normally you should know for the Mono Dark team, the best will be to have Lilith, Beth, after you have Lupina for the critical party buff, and as a fourth position you should put Lin. Really, this is overall the best damage out there. Now I do not have Lin, so I'm going to show with you very quickly the one I'm using, and this is Gremory. Gremory, because she decreases the defense on the normal attack, so it helps that team to put a lot of damage. Also she helps with the skill attack percent, so overall very good value here. Of course, for example, there are other type of unit that can get in. For example, Eugene also with a melee attack percent. She could replace Lin, but if you are going with the Mono Dark, it means you go against a basic boss. Yeah, she won't deal a lot of damage, but she will participate to the team. So if you do not have a Gremory, but you build up Eugene, it can be a nice substitute too. Next, for my recommendation for the Colosseum, as you can see here, that team that I'm using actually with Lilith in it is actually a fantastic clickbait. So here you can see it's decent. I've got on the past 5 defense, I've got 4 wins, so it's actually pretty good. Here as you can see, this is the team. I'm using here Future Princess, Gabrielle, Lilith, and also Noxia. Now, a lot of you have asked me earlier on about, oh, should I use Ogma with Lilith? And the issue is, for example, here on that team, you could substitute, take out Noxia and put Ogma in if you want to. But if you want to use Ogma as a main leader, it will be very difficult. For the simple reason is Lilith has a very long cooldown. So if you put Ogma as a leader on the first Shen skill of your team, she won't trigger. So you are missing some potential damage early on your Colosseum matches. That's why here I put Future Princess. She has a long cooldown, so by the time she starts to trigger, Lilith will trigger as well. And overall, I'm on the Asia server too. This is a pretty pay to win server, which are hardcore followers of the meta in the Korean server also as well. So there is a lot still of MK99 aside of other type of light composition, but this is why Future Princess and Gabrielle synergies so well together. Gabrielle also still gives some critical buff to Lilith, and overall Noxia, Future Princess here really bring that double HP, which helped me to stick here in the Master for the past week and a half. And I haven't played, to be honest with you, that much. As you can see, I still have my 5 tickets. I'm doing practically nothing to be honest with you. I do not have the time, so it's really just, you know, clickbaiting. People think like, okay, a Lilith, because if you look at the top 100 here, you won't see any Lilith in it. You won't see nothing at all is in it. And I have tried last week, I end up on the top maybe 350 players. When I started to play from the Wednesday I've got her until the Sunday, I was a bit more active, so I could even climb further if I attack. Let's do an attack just for fun here, and let's take the hard counter. So this is the hard counter with the MK99, just to show off quickly. So here what we are going to, I'm gonna just let it like that, and let's go and let's see. Let's see how it goes, just for fun here, some Colosseum try. Probably gonna get wrecked, but with the cooldown, let's see how it goes. Okay, so we are getting rid, fantastic. We managed to get rid of Gabrielle and also the Future Knight. Here my Lilith died, but she dealt that damage before to die, and here we keep going on. So she really did her job. I'm sure if we look back here in slow-mo, you will see she applied her emblem, the tag, on both the Future Knight and also Gabrielle early on. That decreased their defense by 20%, and that helped really the team to get rid of them. So I'm very proud of that team, to be honest with you, because yeah, no one is using it, and I believe Lilith, as you have seen here, in that specific team composition, was really, and in between I still got another defense win. So you can see that's a very viable team, and I've tried other with Ogma and it didn't work, to be honest with you. So I highly recommend, if you have those units, this is a pretty decent team composition. And finally, if we are speaking about arena here, the most used combo right now around Lilith for any type of map, this is Lilith, Future Princess and Lin, because of the diversity of the elemental here units and also the double melee attack party buff from Lilith and Lin, and this is by far the most powerful I have seen. Now, as you know, I do not have a Lin build yet, so usually I'm using Noxia, which is actually a pretty good option because it gives really that double tank, and double tank is something we will speak later on in the video, but this is becoming more and more of a trend for the simple reason is really you play more defensive. It's a more defensive play. I should do a video about it, but this team works pretty well because Noxia can handle also a counter element, except Gabrielle, which can shoot through the ghost and can deal damage, but Noxia can take over Future Princess if it's well played and you are lucky enough. So that's why here it's the safest. Now, if you play here Beth, it can be an option too, but the issue with Beth is, of course, you have kind of a big dark element into that arena team here. So if you face someone with MK99 and Future Princess in it, you are going to have a very hard time. And as usual, please feel free to share your suggestion with Lilith here in the comment section below. I can't cover it all, and it takes already a lot of time to do those beginner guides, so if you like it, please smash and destroy that like button. And if you are new to the channel, or if you are coming back again and again, why don't you subscribe? It will be very helpful and encouraging. I really appreciate every time you are coming over here and supporting the channel. Really help us to grow. So as usual, I wish you all to be safe, to be well, and until the next, stay tuned.